Hi, good morning, everyone. I hope you are able to hear me and you are able to watch my screen. Whatever the demonstrations we have discussed yesterday, it's available in this Google Drive. You can go through this particular drive. So it's there in our YouTube channel. Once you go for this video and go for comments, you can find here. I'll update here also. Okay. So I'll just go for a brief discussion what we have yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about what is cloud, what are different cloud companies we have providing the services to the customers, and what is Oracle Cloud, and what are different tools and products we have in Oracle Cloud, and what is meant by this vision applications, ERP software, and what are different types of jobs we will find, functional and technical, and in that again supply chain management. Is all we have discussed yesterday, right? So now we are going for today. Excuse me. Now today we are going to talk about what is FSM, functional setup manager, and how to create our own username and password. So in the demo 2, this was our demo 1, right? In demo 2, I'm going to explain you how to create an employee, because once we implement this software to the client, for example, Heritage Foods, okay, so who will use this software daily? Heritage Foods employees will start using the application, and they'll enter the daily sales, daily procurement, daily inventory receivings, inventory outside, and these all things they are going to maintain. So we need to create username and password for the employees who are using this software. We cannot say that all the employees will use this software, right? So in Heritage, there might be some thousands of employees. Now client says that only these people will use this ERP software to maintain our accounting information, our distributions information, our sales, right? So we have to create an employee record for them, and we have to go for create a user account for them. And after that, we have to give the permission in the sense access. In our Fusion applications, all the features are available, but client says that for this employee, you should give the permission only this. You should not give the permission for performing some other. Let's say manager is there. Manager can create purchase orders and give the order to supplier, and he can receive the goods from the suppliers. Whereas employee is there. Client is telling employee can request the goods. I don't want to give the access for employee to go for give the order. Okay, it means in the software everything is available, but depends on the employee. The system should provide the access. That's what we give the roles. You have to provide the roles, permission, and then you have to go for data access. Data access is nothing but, as we discussed, our client will have multiple branches, multiple countries. They have the business. When employee comes to office and log in, he should access only that particular unit data. Unit in the sense branch. In our language, we call it as branch. And in Fusion applications language, we call it as a business unit. Client says that user is supposed to access only this particular BU data. For example, manager is there. Manager wants to access multiple business units data because he is a regional manager. Under him, there are 7 branches. He is supposed to take care of all the 7 branches. When manager log in, he want to see what is daily procurement and sales. So what he can do is he can go with multiple business units access. So that's what data access. Okay. Permission is nothing but application access. Data access will be given to access the data. And then we are going to create a purchase order. We are going to give a purchase order. Here it is. Okay. For this purchase order, then we are going to see how to receive the goods in our inventory. Inventory and close the order. How to close the order? Here it is. Okay. So whenever we are working all this, you will come to know how the application navigations will be like this. It's going to be simple. We don't find any coding in this. As I said yesterday, without coding now in IT industry, if you want to enter into the job, then this is the technology where you can go for enter. Where you can go for enter into this. Okay, fine. Now let's come to the application. First, we want to go for create our own employee. Let's go for financials or procurement. Now we'll go to the task here, manage users. Go to the task, manage users here. So what happened? It's not coming. Even you can choose procurement also, no problem. Manage users. Yeah, this user does not have the permission for this environment. So role is not there. Just 1 minute. I'm directly going for doing the setups, but when we go for the regular classes from daily, what we'll do is we'll be going right from the scratch. So as it is demo, I just wanted to show how the transactions will happen over here. It is okay. So now go for I'm going to hire employee, means create employee. Person is nothing but employees. Okay, so I'm going to mention this John Smith, J. Smith. He is employee. Select person type, employee, legal employer. For which legal employer he is working? Nothing but for which company is working, and for which business unit is working. Business unit is nothing but a branch. So we are hiring this employee for US1 legal entity and for US1 business unit. This is a seeded data given by Oracle for practice purpose. This is seeded data, nothing but a test data given by Oracle for practice purpose. Okay, so what system is telling, this username already exists. This is already assigned for some employee, person or party. Person is nothing but employee. Party is nothing but a customer. Party is nothing but a customer. Okay, So what I'm trying to do is going to mention Mike Smith. This username also exists. It seems okay. Now the employee has created successfully here. I'm going to create a username and password for this employee. Tools menu, security console. Users. I'm trying to create a password for this. What is the username? We have already created username, right? Anderson is the username. Username is Anderson, but internally employee name is Smith, Mike Smith. That's the employee name we have over here. It is okay. Now I'm going to reset the password for this user. So now the username is Anderson. I have configured the password here. I'm going to give the permission, edit. Edit are nothing but this roles. We are going to add the roles to the user. Add roles here. So whenever employee wants to work with the procurement, must be a procurement manager. Procurement manager. This we call it as a role. Role is nothing but a permission. So right now we are here. What we have done, first we created employee. Then we created a user account for employee. Now I am giving the permission for employee. Permission is nothing but a role. So we'll ask our client for this Anderson employee, what permission you want to give in the application. Means when Anderson log into the application, what are the things he wants to perform. Now my client is telling us he can create a purchase order and send it to the supplier, and he can receive the goods from supplier. That's what he wanted to do. So first, create a purchase order. If any employee wants to create a purchase order, we have to assign this role to that employee. We have to assign this role to employee. Next, you want to send the requirement to the supplier. Once you give the order to the supplier, then he can go for work with the supplier. So if you want to create any supplier or you want to work with supplier, then you can use supplier manager. So right now I don't want to create any supplier. Okay, so we want to use existing supplier. We'll go ahead with the existing supplier. Okay, fine. Next, if you want to buy the material, you should be a buyer first. So you have to make the buyer role. Next, client is telling that this Anderson should receive the material from supplier. If you want to receive the material from supplier, you must go with inventory manager. If you are an inventory manager, you can receive the goods from the supplier. Okay. So these are the roles are required. So whenever we are creating any employee, first we'll ask our client what permission you want to give. Client will tell us. Based on that, you have to identify what role is suitable and we have to attach. For every module, there will be 10 roles. We are going to learn 3 modules: procurement, inventory, order management. So there will be a maximum 30 roles. Maximum 30 roles. We must be clear all these 30 roles. We can easily clear the interviews also if you are clear these roles, and we can easily work in the project also. It's not much complex. Okay. Sometimes client wants to modify this role. We will also do that. Sometimes client will ask you create a new role because the existing roles are not satisfying the requirement. So let's go for create a new role. Yes, we can do that. Okay. So that's how it's going to work here. Okay. So let's go for save and close. What we have done right now, we have created an employee. We created a user account for that employee and we added the roles, nothing but a permission. Role give the access to the application, but not for the data. Now employee can log in and try to create a purchase order, but he can create purchase order for which business unit. You have to give that permission also. Let's say your client is having 100 business units, nothing but 100 branches. Your employee, for which business unit he want to create a purchase order, you have to mention that. Okay, so that's what data access. Whenever we are working in Fusion application, there will be 2 types of accesses. One is application access, nothing but a permission, application access. Another one is a data access. If you have the access to the application, you can open the application. Means you can open the forms, but you don't find data because you have not informed to the system which branch this employee belongs and which branch data he can access from the database. Maybe you want to give the permission for 3 business units. Yes, that you have to mention it. But we have not mentioned so far anything. We just mentioned he is so-and-so employee. He is working for so-and-so branch. But we have not mentioned which branch data he can access. I'm going to give the access for 1 business unit. Same way we can give it for multiple business units. I'm going to show you how to give the data access for this particular employee. Go to setup and maintenance. If there are some 2000 employees, we have to do in the same way. No other option. We need to interact with our client and go for data access. Select your username. User means indirectly employee only, right? And here I'm going to specify username. The moment when you select the user, here it's going to shows the roles which are assigned for that user. How many roles are there? 3 roles, right? Buyer, inventory, procurement. We have to choose the role name and business unit, for which business units he is going to work as a buyer. Can go for copy. Same thing for second role. I'm going to configure it. Select here inventory manager. For which inventory he can receive the material 001. For which business unit he can, inventory is nothing but a warehouse, go down. That's going to be go down. So I'm mentioning here for which business unit he can purchase the goods. Like this, we are supposed to configure the data access. Once we assign the data access to the user, we need to run one program to synchronize the users and roles information. It takes a couple of minutes time to synchronize the users and roles and data access. Let's log out from here and log in to the applications here. Anderson is an employee. It's going to log into the applications. Okay, so the moment when employee log into the applications, how to find whether he got the permission or not, he has to go to navigator and procurement. See, he can create an order. When he select the order form, whenever employee select the order form here, he can go for create a purchase order and send it to the supplier, and he can search for the PO. Let me create a purchase order. Here is not getting the current business unit. One simple setup we are missing. We have to make him as a buyer. I missed it. Let me configure. Simple setup we have to specify. Go to setup and maintenance. And then here, procurement, we have to make him as a buyer. Foundation, procurement agents. Mike Smith is employee name. Procurement BU is US1 business unit. We are giving the permission, and is Mike Smith. And I'm giving the permission to create a purchase orders. Here we have enabled it. Go for save and close. Now we can see we got all business unit and the requisition BU. So I'm trying to create a purchase order saying that we are giving the order to this supplier, Advanced Corporation, and supplier site for which branch you are giving the order and who is the contact person here, which currency you are giving the order, so and so currency here. Fine. Now this is the purchase order number. Now employee is going to mention what items he want. This is the purchase order header information. And is going to mention the lines. Lines are nothing but item, quantity, price, unit of measurement, when the materials are required, where it is required. This is all going to be created. Okay. So I'm going to mention so-and-so item, purchase order. This is item name. Yeah, we submitted, right? LDAP process we submitted. We submitted the LDAP process, right? For data map, data access. So what we have done here is we have specified that we want the goods. How many items we want? 5. What's the unit price? $10. What is the total order? $50. Okay. And we will be configuring all these items. In inventory module, we will configure all these particular items here. And here we are mentioning when the materials are requested, when the supplier has promised. We need the goods on 25th May. Supplier has promised on 24th May. And distributions where the goods are required. And accounts, internal accounts will be generated. Like this, purchase order will be created. So what is purchase order? Purchase order is a document which we will prepare while purchasing the goods from the supplier. Goods or service or support or amount also. Once we send this purchase order to the supplier, what supplier will do? Supplier will supply the goods to our inventory. Where you mentioned that which inventory you want the material while creating the. Okay, somebody has changed this transaction accounting definition. That's why accounts are not generated. Not a problem. I'll rectify that. Okay, let me cancel this view. Give me 1 minute. Somebody has changed that setup. Accounts are not generating properly. Somebody has changed. Maybe they have customized their own accounting structure. That's why they are not configured properly. That's the problem. I think we have already created PO. Let me go back. Search for the PO which we have created already. It was incomplete. Now distributions. Let me save this action edit. Go to schedules here. And here we can find for which inventory we given the order. Excuse me. You can show all the lines, all the fields here. So this is the item we given the order. How many items? 5 items. Which inventory? 001. So once we log into the applications, we need to go for receive the items into this particular inventory. Now save this purchase order and we'll check whether the PO has been its required approval or its auto approval. We'll see that here. There is a button here, manage approvals, because approvals are mandatory when the organizations are trying to buy the goods from the suppliers. Like we will be defining the rules as functional consultant. We are going to configure the rules when the PO automatic approval, when the purchase order needs approval, this all. Let's see who is supposed to approve right now here. Approver history cannot be displayed here because this task could not be assigned to any approver. It seems somebody has changed the approval. I'll configure it. We'll see first. If not approved, I'll configure. It takes a couple of minutes. This is all we have to do. When we are working in the projects, we will be getting this type of issues. We are supposed to find out. It's not a complex. Once we learn this complete course and do the practice multiple times, then it's not going to be any big problem. And we'll come to know here status, purchase order status. That's pending approval. I'll just do a simple setup here. So when we are working as functional consultant and when we are trying for a job as functional consultant, we should have a patience, because a lot of scenarios we have to test and a lot of cycles we have to execute. And when we are getting errors, we are supposed to verify take different options and test it and finally deliver to the client. That's right. Okay. So I'm just checking what are the approval rules are enabled for our business unit. It seems no rule has been assigned. That's what we were facing problem. This is for requisition, sorry, not for purchase order. Yeah, let me disable this. I'm going ahead with this approval, enable. We'll be having separate sessions about the approvals. It's required. I'm defining separate rule for our business unit. So if we just giving some name, purchase order rule. So let me put a condition here. If the purchase order amount is less than 1,000, we want auto approval. So go for attribute. Attribute is nothing but a column. Document level. We need to select the attribute is nothing but a column. Right now, our requirement is if the purchase order amount is less than $1,000, it should auto approval. So select document order amount less than or equal to $1,000. I have defined only one condition. We can add multiple conditions also. So what action you want to have? I need automatic approval. Automatically it should be approved. That's what my requirement. Go for save. If the purchase order amount is less than $1,000, it's automatically approved. We don't need to go for any approval process. That's what I have configured. There will be some rules given by Oracle and some rules required for the client. Depends on the client's requirement. Either we have to customize the rules given by Oracle or we have to create a new rules. Just now I defined one rule. What I said, if the PO amount is less than $1,000, that amount will be automatically, that PO will be automatically approved. So client can ask for managers $1,000, but for employees, it should be $100 only. It should not be 1,000. So you have to check another condition, whether he is a manager or not. This employee is a manager or just employee, we have to check. That detailed approval will be discussed. That is what actually our job. Let me go for purchase order. We have already one order in process. We can open this and copy the same order according to our requirement. We can modify it. These all are shortcuts. We call it as infolets. What is the advantage of infolet is if you do not know the exact number and no need to navigate here and all, directly you can navigate to the record. It will be easy access or shortcut, or the information will be displayed graphically instead of text. So the moment when employees log into the application, they can check. So what I want is, I need the same type of PO. I just want one duplicate purchase order here. Edit. You can cancel the purchase order and close and reopen it and go for edit. Another person modified the record. So we have already done that, right? And you don't have permission to go for duplicate. You don't have the access. That's not a problem. We'll create another purchase order manually. Create order. When I select supplier name, I'm getting this all. We need to configure all these things. Just now I did, right? Procurement business unit. Same way we have to do each and every setup. For every module, there will be hundreds of setups required for the client. So you take any client, a minimum 1 year project will be there, and maximum it takes 2 years. Once the project is done, then support is required. Definitely the client has to go for support. If there are any issues in the application, we are supposed to solve the issues. But the team size will be less. For example, if 40 members are implementing the product, supporting 10 members are sufficient, because the product has been already tested successfully. And now client is using the product. During the usage, if there is any problem, we are supposed to solve it. That's a support or maintenance. So if we given the order for inventory and this item and save this particular record, purchase order. What is the PO amount here? $50 plus tax, total 54.75. We can configure the tax percentage. That is also our job. We'll be interacting with the client, how much tax you want to calculate. So that we will configure. Fusion taxes we need to specify. And now its purchase order is done here. We created successfully, and I'm just checking who is the approver. As we just enabled, it's less than $1,000 amount. Automatically it will be approved. It will shows here. See, application development framework means auto approval. Earlier we were not getting this information. Now let's submit. Approval management is an important task when we are working in the, you must either requested a date or promised date. So for your purchase order, you have not mentioned when you want the material. Let me go back to the order shipment schedules. Here you have not specified when you need the material, when the supplier has promised. That's why it is showing error message. Go for submit. Now this is our PO has been submitted for approval. Let's search for the PO status. Go to manage orders here. Search for the purchase order. Oh, it has been rejected. Why it's rejected? We said if it is less than $1,000, it should be approved, right? Have we selected rejected option? Let me check. This is also one real-time issues. The client will tell, when my managers are creating the purchase order, it's auto rejecting. You just find out what is the reason. And this is what our requirement, that's what this is. So we need to go to our admin page and identify where the problem is there. Anyone has changed? No, it's there. Is it enabled? Yes. We need to cross-check one by one setups. And this is we specified, right? Document ordered amount less than or equal to $1,000. it should be approved. So whatever we mentioned, it's yeah. I'll change this condition. I want to go for the purchase order. Procurement BU means for our branch. I'm setting that for this for US1 business unit. Then I want automatic approval. We selected approval only, right? Yes. Automatic approval. It means amount doesn't matter. If you create a purchase order in US1 business unit, auto approval, it will be following. And we did deployment also. Deployment is nothing but execution. Let's see purchase order document approval. So the PO is created for US1 business unit, and I'm just changing some quantity. For example, 6 items we want. Okay, save this purchase order. It's going for auto approval. Again, it is submitted for approval. Oh. It's again rejected. Just give me a couple of minutes. It won't take much time. Somewhere this type of issues only will be getting in the supporting projects. Based on the CVRT, we have to resolve the issues. CVRT 1 means within hours. CVRT 2 means 3-4 days is okay. Like that, they'll raise the end user service request. Then we are supposed to configure that. I don't know why it's go for. Someone has already defined some rules. I'm just trying to disable their rules. We can go for configure our own rule here. We can put either one condition or multiple conditions like this. So I'm putting two conditions. If the purchase order is created for US1 business unit, and here is and. If the amount, purchase order amount is greater than or equal to is there, I'm trying to make it as less than or equal to $1,000. It's fine. Then what do you want to do? I want auto approval. So go for edit this action. Automatic approval. Fine. Save. Deploy it. Enable this rule. Fine. So what we have done is we defined a rule that if the purchase order is created for business unit and if the document is total amount is less than or equal to $1,000, we want auto approve. If you want to change this to our condition, we have to go to here, place the cursor, action. You can go for edit and we can choose R also here. That's fine. Now I would like to have both the conditions satisfied, then apply this process. Let me log out from here. Purchase orders here. We are giving 7 items order. It's $84 total. We given the order for 001 warehouse, and materials are required on so and so date. Go for save and submit for PO. Submitted for approval. Take some time. Yeah, now it's done. So the problem why it was rejecting is already some conditions are defined by someone else. So somewhere this purchase order is matching to that condition first. That's why it was rejected. So what I did, I have disabled all those conditions. I created a new condition. Now the PO has been approved successfully. So what employee has given, buyer, he has given the order to supplier. Now if we see the cycle of this PO, order has given to the supplier. Next, we have to receive this goods into our inventory. So order number is this. If you want to receive the material into your inventory, so supplier will supply the goods to our warehouse, right? Whatever the warehouse you mentioned in the order, he will supply the material into that inventory. We already given the access, right? For this employee, we already given the permission that he can receive the material into 001 inventory. So now he is able to log in. See, he can access only one inventory, 001, and he want to receive this item. He want to receive this item, right? When you want to receive the items into your inventory, you need to create a receipt. You have to go for create a receipt and receive the goods. But the receipt option is not there. You need to give the permission. He forgot one more role, warehouse operator. Let me give that permission. Search for your user here. Anderson is the username. Warehouse manager. And operate. We given just application access. We need to give the data access also. For which inventory you want to receive the materials. 001, right? So we have to give second access. First one is application access. Second one is data access. Let's go to financials and give the data access here for this user, saying that Mr. Anderson can receive the goods into 001 inventory. warehouse operator, inventory 001. Go for save and close. And after that, we must run one program, LDAP process, for synchronizing this all data, user, roles. It's a standard program we are supposed to submit. It takes a couple of minutes. We need to just log out and log in with the employee. Inventory management. Earlier, I was not able to get all these options. Now we got, right? Earlier, I was getting only 2 options. Now I am able to receive this. Go for receipt. Receive this goods into your inventory. It is asking, what is your PO number, purchase order number? For this purchase order, I'm going to receive the goods into inventory. Receive. While receiving the goods, again, there will be a different routings. Nothing but if there is any quantity difference, tolerance, more or less, you want to receive into your inventory or not. While receiving into inventory, you want to restrict it to the particular sub-inventory. Sub-inventory is nothing but rooms within the warehouse. So those all are going to be the setups. That's what actually our job. Okay. So now the receipt also created. It means we have received the goods from supplier for that purchase order. And this is our receipt number 52088. We can check that in our procurement. Go to purchase orders. Go to manage orders and check the order status. Give the order number. Now the order is closed for receiving. You have received this goods, right? Now cycle. Let's see the cycle. We ordered the goods and we received the goods, your inventory. Delivered. Delivered means within the sub inventory. But your invoice is not created. Once you procure the material, then what is the next step? You need to raise the invoice and pay the amount, right? You will also receive the invoice from supplier. So what I'm going to do is it will just take another 5 minutes to add the invoice. Okay, I'm going to show you how to create invoice also, so that one cycle will be done. So this is our purchase order number. I'm just going to add finance rules. Here, go for add the roles here. Financial account. Payable manager. Accounts payable supervisor. Payable specialist. As we discussed, first we have to give the application access, then we have to give the data access. Application access is nothing but a role. Data access we are going to provide now. So what we are trying to do is we order the goods, then we received. Now we have to create an invoice and make the payment, right? After receiving the goods, we have to pay the amount for supplier, right? That's what I'm trying to do. So if you want to pay the amount, you need permission for finance. So I'm providing the data access for the users. Whenever this Anderson user login and select this role, finance role, payables, he's a payables manager, and I'm giving the permission that he can make the payments for this particular invoices. After providing data access, it's mandatory that we have to provide the LDAP process submission. Submit this. Just log out and log in. So now let's see first purchase order status and cycle. So go to procurement, purchase orders. I think I forgot the PO number. Let's see we can search, not a problem. Go to manage orders. And you will come to know what purchase orders are created by current employee. I think we created 3 or 4 POs today. Yeah, 3. And this is what we are talking. And if we see the cycle of purchase order, now this is our PO amount, sorry, purchase order number. And this is what our receipt number. We received the goods from supplier into our inventory, but still invoice is not raised. We have not raised the invoice. Now I'm going to do that. So which role we added? Payables. Go to invoices. So here we can find the roles has been applied or not. Once we go to the role, if you are getting these numbers, then you will come to know that yes, data also is given. So sometimes what happened, the PO will have automatic invoice. So the purchase order might have created automatically invoice. That setup also we can do it. The moment when you give the order, immediately we want to raise the invoice automatically. I don't want to do it again. So at this point of time, it's not done. So we will go for create. There is a concept called pay on order. The moment when you give the order, invoice automatically created. So now I'm creating the invoice based on the purchase order. It seems around $84, right? 84, including tax, something 85, something. So here we will give the purchase order number. Automatically it retrieves your business unit supplier details here. It retrieves automatically here. See, we got all the information. In fact, we cannot change and give this invoice number, how much amount you are receiving. Let's say $85 we are receiving, or $90. You can find out that information here. Go for matching. Enable it. How much quantity? 7. This is total amount, $84. That's fine. We can apply it. So now the invoice is created successfully. This invoice needs to be accounted. So you might have seen in companies, whenever they receive the bill, invoice is nothing but a bill, right? So when they receive the bill, first they will verify. Accounts department, first they will check this bill, why it has came and what is the order number, is it valid or not? And once they validate, then they go for approve it. Finance department, some manager will be there. If the beyond the limit, then obviously it required approval. Then they go for check printing. They go for check printing. So right now we are still in the invoice. Means accounts department has just entered the bill as it is, and they are trying to validate it, showing us there is some tax issue. It seems tax setups are not done properly. I'll go for remove the tax so that there won't be any issue here. So like this, we need little bit patience for functional consultant that is required. So when we start with one cycle, it takes at least 1.5 or 2 hours time also. During the training, during the practice, when we are working in the projects also. Still it needs revalidation. Some difference is there. Your invoice is not going for approval. Invoice line does not equal to the header. Header level you said $90, but actually $84 only. Your purchase order. You entered the wrong amount. That's why it is not going to the next step. Now let's adjust the amount and go for validate the invoice here. Now it's validated, and you can go for create accounts and transfer these accounts to ledger. So what we have done right now, we have created an invoice for our purchase order, and then we have approved the PO also, and as well as invoice. Let's see the PO status, purchase order status. Now we are going for PO, purchase orders. Manage orders. Search for your PO. I am not getting the result. This is one important question in the interviews. I think last week Infosys was asked. We created purchase order, and we also created an invoice for that PO. But after that, when we go for search, I'm not able to see the PO. What could be the reason? Why I'm not getting PO? Because I only created the PO. I only got approval. I received the material. I have raised the invoice. But after completion of everything, I'm not able to see my purchase order. Is there any rule that after invoice is created, you cannot view the PO or something? No, it's not like that. So the reason is very simple. You have created an invoice means your order is closed. You ordered the goods, you approved it, you received invoice, and then you created accounts. It means your entire PO is closed. Here there is an option, include closed documents as no. What system has configured default? If the purchase order is already closed, don't go for show that. Don't go for show that particular purchase order. Just give me 1 minute, please. There is some charger issue. Yes. So what system has got default option is, if the purchase order is document means PO right now. So if the PO is already closed, don't show that PO here. But if you want to view that, say yes and go for search. Your purchase order is closed. That's why initially it was not displayed. We are supposed to choose. So why they did like this is, if the purchase order is already closed, generally not required, because every day some thousands of purchase orders will be created in all the business units, right? So if the PO is already closed, means you already received and you paid the money, you raised the invoice, approved, everything is done. So we don't need to go for search. So there will be some lakhs of purchase orders you might have created last 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I don't want to search because that is a performance issue, right? So what the organizations are required right now, whatever the POs are in open status, are incomplete status, are in progress status, are closed for receiving, are closed for invoice. These statuses are required. If the PO is already closed, it's done. Our business is closed. So why do we need that record by default? That's why Oracle has done. But anyway, obviously data is required. So you are supposed to change this option, then it comes. Now, if we see the cycle of this particular PO, what we are doing today morning, see it has been closed. So you ordered the goods, then you received at your office and you delivered into inside of your inventory, then you have given the invoice. Invoice has been created. This is your PO number. This is your receipt number. This is your invoice number. Okay. So that's how the cycles we have to execute. So right from the demo today, we faced some issues. I was able to do that setup and clear the things. That is what actually our job when we are working in this. No coding, only setups and configuration and understanding the business. Okay. Thank you. So any doubts, anybody would like to talk with me? Tomorrow, we will be having another demo session. And that will be the final demo. From Tuesday onwards, we will be having regular classes. Don't worry about if somebody says that, think like how we can do all these things. These all things you can easily do it after completion of our training. So we will be going right from the scratch. If you say I'm not having any background of supply chain or domestic or logistics experience or nothing, we treat that everybody is a fresher. So you need to invest your time and patience and do the practice, have good English and get into the market. That's what I can say. Okay.
Indra, hi.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good man.
See, I have a small doubt. See, in the whole of this process, okay, see, all the orders are not supplied 100%, right?
Maybe we can have multiple receipts. Yes.
Yeah, that is available, right?
Yes, yes. We can receive the goods multiple times.
Okay, okay.
Maybe we given the 3 items order, 3 different items with the quantity. So supplier is having immediately 2 items only. So you will supply immediately 2 items first.
Okay.
The another item you will supply after 1 week.
So, in this whole of the process, this part payments of the invoices can also happen?
Yes, yes, we can make the payment only for that particular line.
Okay, okay.
While creating the invoice,
Uh-huh.
when I was going for invoice after searching, system has asked me the line number. So when we go for matching here, we don't need to make the payment for the entire POC. Line is there. Line is nothing but your items.
Okay.
So you ordered 3 items, but you received only 2 items. You need to choose checkbox here. You need to choose the 2 items, whatever we have received. For that only, we'll pay that.
Okay, okay.
Fine, guys. Thank you. If you want to have this particular video, this drive is there. I have mentioned in our video. You can get it from here. So go to YouTube channel and subscribe. And in the comments, I have specified. or I'll put it in the video description also, not a problem. So I'll update here. It is in the video description. You can get it. Okay, fine. Thank you. Let's see you tomorrow, same time at 8 o'clock. And we are going to have the third demo and final demo. Tuesday onwards, our regular sessions will be started. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
Chandra, going forward, the regular classes will be the same time or how it is?
There will be a 2 batches, 7:30 p.m. IST. That is fixed.
Okay.
And morning batch depends on the enrollment, the admin part. They will decide. You can be in touch with these people. They'll update.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.